Hello everybody, welcome back to Simply Sadie Crochet, and in today's video I wanted to start the review for the Crafter's Square Amigurumi Animal Kits. So this one I got for Christmas from my sweet mother-in-law, and I haven't given it a shot yet, but I am excited to. So it includes plastic needle, yarn, stuffing, crochet hook, plastic beads, instructions sheet, and so I did already open this, and so here is the crochet hook. So this also comes with safety eyes and the little yarn needle, and the yarn and stuffing. So here's the little yarn pouch. So it comes with white yarn, yellow yarn, and the yarn for the mane. These are the instructions, which are very different from the instructions for the bee. And so this is how they look. This is going to be very difficult to see. So, and you never know who's going to be making one of these. We may assume that it's for children, but who knows? Adults may love to do these crafts, and if they don't have a way to make these instructions bigger, it's going to be hard for them. I'm going to start how I started with the bee, which is with a magic ring or magic circle. Okay. So I'm gonna do, round one is 6 stitches, so I'm just gonna do 6. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm just gonna close this magic ring up. So the 6 single crochets in that magic ring. Okay, so round 2 is an increased stitch in each stitch around. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and where that stitch marker was, 11, 12. Okay, replace that yarn. Round 3 is 18 single crochets. So what they want me to do is do a single crochet and then increase. So we're going to do a single crochet into the next stitch, and then increase into the next, so 2 single crochets. Okay, and then single crochet, 2 single crochets, single crochet, 2 single crochets, single, increase, single, increase, increase, single, and increase. Replace that yarn. Okay, so that's round 3. 1, 2, 3. So round 4 is 24 stitches. So okay, I think the X's are single crochets, but I am kind of confused on the rest. Okay. So round 4 is 24 stitches. So again, what I'm going to assume is single crochet into the next 2. 1 and 2. I assume this because this is pretty much how a normal increase goes. And then 2 single crochets into that 3rd stitch. One, 2, and then increase. One, 2, increase. One, 2, increase. One, 2, increase. One, 2, and in the last stitch, increase. So another way I can tell I'm on the right track is because the stitches line up. So what I mean by that is I started doing a single crochet into the next 2, and then I did an increase stitch, and then at the end I did single crochet in the next 2 and then an increase stitch. Sorry, my camera keeps on going out of focus. So that's another way that you can tell that you're on the right track, is that your stitches line up. Another way is that you have the correct amount of stitches around. So rounds 5 through 7 is 24 stitches. So we're just gonna do single crochets in each stitch around for 3 rounds. So rounds 5 through 7 is a single crochet in each stitch around. Alright, so we are back, and it looks like on the rounds, there's round 5 through 7, which is supposed to give you 24 stitches, and then round 8 also gives you 24 stitches. So I feel like rounds 4 through 8 could have been bunched together, but we're going with it. So I did rounds 5 through 7 off camera, and now I'm gonna do round 8. Okay, and I'm gonna replace my little stitch marker onto that last stitch that I did. So round 3 showed 18 stitches and round 9 shows 18 stitches. So I'm assuming what they want us to do is do the same thing that we did in round 3 but decreasing. So round 3, 1, 2, 3, it shows that it's a single crochet and then 2 single crochets. So what I'm assuming that they want us to do is a single crochet and a decrease. So that's what I'm going to try to do next. Single crochet, decrease, all the way around. Single crochet, decrease, this will be interesting to see how big this unicorn is as well. Okay, and it looks like it's lining up perfectly. So we have that single crochet here, and then where the yarn stitches is a single crochet 2 together. So that looks like that lined up well. In round 10, you're supposed to have 12 stitches. So what I think that they want us to do is to single crochet 2 together around. So I'm gonna do that and leave a little bit of room to stuff. And single crochet together, and that last group of stitches, single crochet together. Okay, and I'm thinking that they want us to just leave the head as is. And so I'm just gonna put a slip stitch into the next stitch just to kind of finish off and leave a pretty good amount of yarn for sewing. Okay, so this is the head. Okay, so that's what the head looks like. And when it's stuffed, I'm pretty sure it'll look very similar to the actual head. So that's good. Okay, so now we're gonna work on the body, the legs, the horn, and the nose next. So we're gonna start with round 1 with 8 single crochets into a magic ring. So instead of 6, we're doing 8, so it's just 2 more. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We're gonna close that ring up. Round 2, the total stitch count that we're supposed to have is 16. So that's just an increased stitch in each stitch around. So we're just gonna do 2 single crochets in each one of these 8 stitches. So going in that first two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, and 16. Okay. So round 3, we're supposed to have 19 stitches. So I'm pretty sure that just means a single crochet and then increase in the next stitch. So we're gonna try that and then count and then see where that leads us. The 6 single crochets, the increasing, round 3. Okay, so maybe the X's are single crochet, so maybe it's supposed to be 3 single crochet, increase, 3 single crochet, increase. Let's try that. Increase, 3 increase. Okay, I'm just gonna try it and go from there. Okay, so into that first stitch there, 1, 2, 3, increase, 1, 2, 3, and increase. Okay, so that worked. My stitch count must have been off for user error, so I must have moved the stitch marker where it shouldn't have been or something like that. Okay. Alright, so 1, 2, 3. Rounds 4 through 8 is just single crocheting. So I'm just gonna do these single crochets off camera and I'll come back and show you what the rounds look like. Round 9, I believe it's 3 single crochet and then single crochet 2 together according to the chart. So that's what we're gonna try to do. So single crochet into the next 3. 1, sorry, my camera keeps on going out of focus. 1, 2, 3, single crochet 2 together. and single crochet these last 2 together, which is perfect. We're ending up perfectly. Awesome. So let's try single crocheting 2 together around. Let's see if this is what it's meaning. Okay, so let's count and make sure that we have 8 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. Okay, so that's what it was. It looks like there's 2 rounds at the end of just single crocheting 2 together. And round 4, we should have 11 stitches. So, same thing here. Single crochet. Two together, single crochet, 2 together, two together, and the last 2 together, which I'm not exactly sure how they're. I am not gonna do the last 2 yet, just because we need to stuff it. So I'm actually going to let this round just sit because we need to stuff it before we close it. So okay, and then I'm gonna do this last row of single crocheting 2 together, so there's that. That is the body. And I'm gonna cut the yarn so that we have some to close it up. Okay. So here's the head and the body done. I do need to stuff the head, but the body needed to be stuffed. All right, so for the legs, there's only 3 rounds, so it looks like it's just a round of 6 single crochets, and then each round after that is just an increase. So it looks like round 1 is just a magic circle with 6, then round 2 and 3 is just the same thing. So this should be pretty easy. Okay. Alrighty. So it's a magic circle with 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And close that. And I'm going to use my stitch marker just because I like to use stitch markers, but if you just want to count your stitches, you can totally do that. Okay, so I'm just going to do one of these on camera with you, and then I'll do the others off camera. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So just going in and making 6 single crochets around. Okay, and then the 6th stitch. There we go. And then single crocheting around one more time. There's Una. On the last stitch. Okay, so there's one leg done, and I'm just gonna do a slip stitch in the next stitch over. Okay, and I'm just gonna grab a little bit of yarn so I can sew this on. And with that yarn tail, I'll just, take the yarn tail and just kind of stuff it in to the leg. There we go. So there's one leg. We're gonna do the nose next, which the nose looks really simple. It's just 8 single crochets, and then run 2 and 3 is 8 single crochets as well. Okay, so I'm gonna do the nose with you guys real quick. And the nose is a magic ring with 8. So one, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We're gonna close it. And I'm just gonna count 8 stitches around. I'm not gonna use a stitch marker. So I'm just gonna go in one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, and then one more round of just 8 stitches. So 1, 2, 8. Okay, so there is the nose. Okay, and I'm just going to do a slip stitch into the next stitch to finish it off. And I'm just going to grab a little bit of stuffing, maybe about a foot of stuffing, or yarn, I'm sorry. And then I'm just going to use the yarn tail to stuff the nose. Okay, so that part is done. Alright, so I am done with the 4 legs, and I also did the nose, and there is some white left, so that's a pleasant surprise there. I'm glad that they give you enough to have a little bit extra. So now what we're going to do is work on the horn, which I'm assuming this is more than enough. So for the horn, it looks like round 1 is a magic ring with 6 stitches, round 2 is 9, and 3 through 4 is 9. So we're gonna see what we need to do. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, close. And I'm gonna use a little bit of some white for this stitch marker. Okay, so looking at the diagram for the horn, it looks like the next set of stitches is probably a single crochet and an increase. So let's try that and see how that goes. Okay. Okay, so single crochet, increase, single crochet, increase, single crochet, and increase. Let's see. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Perfect. Okay. And round 3 through 4 is 9 single crochets. So just a single crochet in each stitch around for 2 rounds. Okay, and then I'm just going to finish off with a slip stitch and enough yarn to sew it onto the head. Okay. Alright, so there's the horn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the eyes onto the head now. I'm going to get my safety eyes, which, based on my last video, if you guys have not seen that, go ahead and watch that if you're interested. But these little kits are my first times working with safety eyes. And I don't know if all safety eyes are this way or if it's just because these are from Dollar Tree, but I do not recommend using these safety eyes for young children because the backs on these just take no effort to come off. So I've never used safety eyes before, so I do not know if that's normal or, you know, if it's supposed to be harder to get off. Alright, so if we're looking at the picture on here, it looks like the eyes are a little bit further down. So I'm just gonna look and make sure that the yarn tail is towards the back. And I think I'm just going to insert one of them right about here. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to poke it out of that out so that I can see where it is, and I'm just going to add these. Oh, these ones are harder to get on. That's why, because the hole in here is not all the way punched through. I'm just gonna take one of my scissors and carefully try to open that up a little bit more. Let's see if that works now. Okay, so I'm just gonna put this on, maybe. There we go. So these ones do seem to go on a little harder. Okay. And then the other one, we're gonna put it maybe about right. Here-ish. Maybe. Okay. Alright, so now that my safety eyes are on, I'm gonna stuff the head. Okay, so there is the head stuffed. Okay, so now it is saying that we need to put the head onto the body. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish sewing the body closed. Okay. And the body, the head, I'm gonna sew onto this front part of the body here. So what I'm gonna try to do is I'm just gonna try to go in through a stitch, or actually go through a stitch of the body. Stitch of the head. Stitch of the body. Head. No. Okay, so I'm just going to keep on going around like this, catching a stitch of the body and then a stitch of the head. And just continuing like this all the way around. And I will be back. Alrighty, so here is the head sewn onto the body. And I just did a few passes through the body, knotting off just to make it secure. Okay, so there's that. And next it shows to stuff the legs, nose, and horns, and to put the horn on first, the nose, and then the legs. Okay. So this horn actually already has stuffing from the yarn tail, so I'm not going to add any extra stuffing there. And I'm going to go through a stitch of the head. A stitch of the horn. Stitch of the head, stitch of the horn, and then I'm just going to go through a stitch of the horn just to secure it. Okay. And knot off. So there's the horn. And then the next step is the nose. So we're gonna grab the nose, which I've already used the yarn tail as stuffing. Okay, so there is the nose, and I'm going to go off camera to put the legs on just because they're smaller and kind of finicky, and then I will be back to put the mane on. Okay, pull the yarn passing through the plastic needle and pull the yarn through the plastic needle and pull half the yarn into the hole and pull through half of the yarn. The yarn will hang on the back side of the head. Repeat this step with all 4 colors. Use the same method to attach the tail. Tie the hair with yarn and attach to the back side. Pull the yarn, passing through the plastic needle, and pull the yarn into the hole and pull through half of the yarn. I don't quite understand that. Let's see. Maybe maybe what they mean is they take the yarn, put it onto the needle, and then maybe bring it up about halfway like that, and then find a spot bring it like that. No. Okay, I'm not quite sure what they mean. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a crochet hook, and I'm going to do this a way that I would normally do it, which is to go through a stitch, grab the yarn on the hook, and pull it through like that. So what I'm gonna do for the head is I'm gonna go into this stitch here, pull that through, and then pull those pieces of yarn through that loop. And then do it again through another stitch. Pull it up a little bit. Okay. So maybe something like that, because I'm not quite sure what the instructions were trying to say otherwise. If anybody has done these before and they know, then please let me know. And a little bit. And the tail a little bit as well. Okay. And there is the finished unicorn. So my first impressions of this is that I love how it definitely comes with the crochet hook, because there are some kits out there that do not come with the crochet hook. So I am glad that there's a crochet hook that is included. That's very helpful. And the directions, I'm glad that they do have directions, but the directions are a little bit unclear sometimes, and especially for a young child that's doing this project, and if they don't know how to read a diagram like that, it's going to be really frustrating. Also, something I noticed is that the instructions for the diagram are very small, and for people that have a hard time seeing, this is going to be difficult for them. And if they don't have a magnifying glass or a way to blow up the image to make it look bigger, they're going to have an incredibly difficult time, regardless of if it's an adult or a child. So that is something to keep in mind. However, I do know that it is from the Dollar Tree. These are about $1.25 each, so I understand. But if an adult or child with really bad vision or trouble seeing or, you know, anything like that, try to do this, it may be hard for them. I do like how on the instructions they give you like basic knowledge and how to increase and decrease in stitches. That's helpful as well. But if the person doesn't understand these directions and they may not understand it, they can always go to like a book that they have, like a crochet book, or if they want to go online and use resources such as YouTube, that can be helpful as well. I also like how at the bottom there's a part where it shows you all the parts of the unicorn that you need to join together and where and how to join them. But I feel like this part at the end here, pull the yarn passing through the plastic needle and pull half the yarn into the hole and pull through half of the yarn. The yarn will hang on the back side of the head. Repeat this step with all 4 colors. Use the same method to attach the tail. Tie the hair with yarn and attach to the back side. Those directions were not clear. So that is why I decided to use the method of the crochet hook, because I've done that before and it's tried and true. This, if I had played around with it, maybe I could have figured it out, but that was kind of difficult to understand. Also, just for clarity, I would not recommend these toys for a young child that does not know to not put small parts in their mouth, because these eyes, I do not trust these eyes. Even though these were easier, not easier, but they were harder to put on, so I'm assuming they'll be just as hard to take off. I do not recommend them for small children. I just want to be clear on that. Somebody, you know, a child that is outgrown that stage of putting things in their mouth, sure, of course. But for a young child, I would recommend just sewing the eyes on. It'll look just as cute. But these are also really cute kits, especially if you have somebody in the family, adult or child, that is interested in learning how to crochet and they don't want to spend a ton of money on getting products and what they need to start crocheting, and they just want to have a little taste of what it's like. These can be very helpful. So I would recommend these for adults and children, and I would recommend that for younger children, maybe have adult supervision, and adults, I think that these can go either way for adults or children. They're really cute. I would just think that some individuals out there would have a hard time seeing the diagrams, especially for the legs, horn, and the nose, just because they're so small. But then again, I understand that it's from the Dollar Tree and there are instructions that are just not the best. So take that as you will. But I would love to review some more of these little crochet kits. If you would like me to, just let me know in the comment section, and I will keep looking around at my Dollar Tree to see if they have any more kits. Like I said, I got this one for Christmas, and then I just did this little bee last night. So they're both really, really cute, and I love doing these types of videos. So if you want me to do more reviews, just let me know, and I hope you guys have a good day. Make sure to subscribe, and if you want to share this video with anybody that you think might be interested, feel free, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.